Alison, could you tell me something about your first encounters with Messy Church? When did you first come across it, and what was interesting for you?
Probably about 15 years ago when I lived down in the Diocese of Liverpool. And so I went on a retreat and came back, and my vicar said, "We're going to start Messy Church." And that's how it started. And so we ran it, I ran it for about 7 years and then moved up to North Berwick, and it was there as well. So it became part of what I did.
And what was it about Messy Church that fascinated you?
It's doing church differently that particularly appeals to me. It's the fact that it relates to community and family, and it's just about expressing the joy of being part of Jesus's ministry in a different way.
And so, tell us something about Messy Church here at St.Andrew. How you started, or when you got involved.
I hoped not to end up being the leader because I'd already done that down in Liverpool, but it happened for various reasons, and I was glad to take it on. For me, the most important part about our Messy Church is the church service, which we call the celebration time, which is up in the sanctuary. We have a little band going with drums and guitar and singing, and it's a very joyful session, combined with some very lovely crafts which have a theme each month, which we then talk about in church, and then we always have sausages and mash to finish with.
Fantastic. So you're talking about a celebration.
Yeah.
You're talking about hospitality.
Yeah.
You're talking about creativity.
Yeah.
You're talking about having people of all ages together.
Absolutely.
And being Christ-centred.
Yes. And I put Christ-centred at the top.
Now, recently, Alison, you had a baptism at your Messy Church. Just tell us something about how that came about.
So we had 2 baptisms, and they came about because we had a baptism in church. And so at the end of the service, I went to the minister and said, "Can we do it in Messy Church?" And he said, "Absolutely." And that's how it came about.
And just those particular families, why did they choose to do it at Messy Church?
Both of them see Messy Church as their church. And so they were very keen to make sure that their younger child was baptised in Messy Church because their older children had been baptised in traditional church before Messy Church existed, and I think they felt that it just belonged to them, so they wanted to make sure their younger children had the opportunity to be Messy Church baptised.
So Messy Church is not a stepping stone into Sunday morning church, although you have it on Sunday afternoon. It is looking to be a community.
Absolutely. It is absolutely not a recruitment drive into Sunday morning services. It is a church in its own right, and it has its own community. Some people will go to both. Some people have moved from Messy Church into mainstream church, but it's not designed to be a recruitment drive. It's a community in its own right. I think that for me, Messy Church is quite labour intensive, and I wouldn't want everyone to think that they have to do it in the way that we do. It very much depends on the community in which you serve. Some communities of people are very small in number, so you might just have the opportunity to do a bit of a celebration time in church with some food and a few crafts. It doesn't need to be on the scale that we do it, because it does take a lot of time and effort, and it's very labour intensive.
And you meet monthly, which for you is the balance between being regular enough, but also, given what you've said, not demanding people prepare something every week.
Absolutely. We meet monthly, but we don't meet for 2 months in the summer because we find that all the volunteers are away and a lot of the families are away on holiday. So we abandon the July and August messy churches and start again in September.
And Alison, developing community, just thinking about the people that have been going, how do you see it developing discipleship or becoming a community in its own right? How do you see that happening?
I guess that's quite a hard question because there are things that I would probably love to do, but I'm busy enough with just messy church. Ideally, one of the things that I particularly like to focus on would be the dads, because there are a lot of dads that come to messy church, and many of them have had no experience of religion whatsoever. So for them, it's a big step, and I would love to be able to take the next step with them, but maybe that's something for the future.
And Alison, thinking about your involvement with Messy Church and just thinking back into particular Messy churches, can you describe to me a joy that Messy Church has brought you? If you think of a particular memory, where would you go to in your memory?
So we've got a family who come to Messy Church who are not wealthy. They struggle. There's 4 children. The fact that when I see the children out and about in North Berwick, they come running up to me and give me the biggest hug and say, "Alison, it's lovely to see you." That's and it's a lovely way of feeling.